homeschooler for her children. So she may not carry any professional titles, but she carries plenty hats and titles when it comes to being a homeschool mother, teacher, gym teacher, social studies teacher, ELA teacher, math teacher. So the list goes on what I guess here today. And without further ado, I'm going to let her introduce herself.
My name is Tracy Anderson. I'm a mother of four. Um, I have a bachelor's in computer information systems, but I feel like that was not my calling. My calling is education, and I unfortunately I found out later
Okay.
on um, after I spent a lot of money.
Uh-oh. So look, did you hear what she said? Because I'll be freshly graduating with my degree next Thursday, May 30th. And so be careful of not spending all your money on something and then not using it. So
Yeah.
she has a bachelor in a whole, in what you said, in computer science?
Yeah, computer information systems.
Computer information systems. And now she's a homeschooling her
Yes,
children.
but I can apply my knowledge, in homeschooling my children and stuff. But I feel like I probably should have went into education.
Yes, but you know what? We are our kids' number one teacher. Whatever it is we're
Absolutely.
doing, whether they seeing us do it, whether they seeing us write it, whether we're their number one teacher. So honestly, we all should get some type of education under our belt to help teach our children because we are our children's number one teacher. But Miss Anderson has taken it one step further, and she's homeschooling her children. And what does that look like? We're gonna dive in a little bit because see, homeschooling to me can look different to homeschooling from you, depending on what community you in. Homeschooling could look different, and so we talked on a few things, but I'm gonna let Miss Anderson touch on what homeschooling is to her, why she got into homeschooling, and a few more things. Let's go. So first and foremost, why have you decided? Because homeschooling is a hard thing. One, two, you get a lot of pushback, right?
Yes.
So one, I want to know what made you even take on that challenge?
Well, in the beginning, when my eldest son, who's 13 now, he did not have his childhood vaccinations. And I just decided to fall back on it for a little bit because he has cerebral palsy. And so we decided to just homeschool him from then. And we had our ups and downs because I didn't know what I was doing and I was becoming overwhelmed. So homeschooling for me, it allowed me to take my son's education on my own hands and just allow him to flourish and explore his interests, and topics and subjects that are off the beaten path.
So back now again, so she said she got into homeschooling because of her older son who has cerebral palsy.
Yes.
And so you were trying to shy away from the vaccine, so that's why you had eventually had to homeschool him because he wasn't vaccinated.
Yes, he wasn't vaccinated, and my initial thing was to just spread the vaccines apart. That was my initial.
Got you.
Yeah.
So even though that's a whole nother topic that
yeah.
as a parent we need to make sure we're on top of and check into. Because as a concerned parent with having a child that had cerebral palsy, she wanted to space out his vaccines. She was a active parent. She's paying attention to what the vaccination might have or side effects it may have on her son. So in order to give him better health care, she decided to start pushing those vaccines out. Well, we all know that in a city school, Rochester City School District, you have to be vaccinated. So with that being said, as a mother, she took on her child's education and on her child's health and care and wellness all at once.
Yes.
And with it taking its toll on you as being a mother and being a mother to other children also.
Yes.
So now let's remember, homeschooling isn't easy, guys. And I'm not saying it's hard, but it's something that you will have to definitely sacrifice.
Yes. And at the time, I had decided to give up my career.
Oh my, I don't want to stop you. Do you guys hear what she said? As a parent, she went to school, she invested all that money and time and gave it up just because she seen that she had to homeschool her child.
And so, um, but it's very rewarding. It's very rewarding. I don't regret it. I get to experience my children in a in a different capacity. Most parents don't get to see their children flourish the way I do.
Wow. And I was just going to ask you that because I was going to say, so between homeschooling and traditional schooling, you answered like that's the answer I was looking for.
Yeah.
Like the flourish, like who wouldn't want to see their kid flourish? Like, and when she's saying watch them flourish, like spell out a word, you know what I'm saying? And actually go from not being able to write cursive in front of your eyes to write in cursive, something they don't teach our kids in the district anymore.
Yes. So, so I substitute, and one of the high school students asked me to write them a bathroom pass, and I filled out the bathroom pass in cursive, and they couldn't read it. So, but my third grader can, you know.
Do you hear this? She's a high school substitute teacher. The kids couldn't read the pass because she wrote it in cursive. This is another plus. Not even a comparison too. This is like one up on the city school district because you can teach your kids the things that they stopped teaching them. Another thing you mentioned was like religion.
Oh yes. So I'm able to incorporate my faith, my morals, my values, all of that into my daily homeschooling routine because I try to stay on a schedule.
Okay.
They respond very well to routine. Like, oh, you know, by 9 o'clock we'll be having our devotion and then our morning meeting.
Amen.
And then we'll start, you know I'm going to learn from this time to this time. And so I can incorporate my faith in my daily homeschooling lessons, and I can see it play out daily.
This is amazing. Yeah. So would you say like this homeschooling is more than homeschooling? Would you guys agree? She said they start out with daily devotion and I want to come to this school. Honestly. So would you say that this school is like one step up over than like regular traditional schooling? This don't sound like no regular homeschooling. You know, because in school you ain't getting no devotion and all this stuff, and just know that you'll be, well, I should say in the Rochester City School District, you're not getting these things. You know, like I know Freedom Scholars, Go Freedom Scholars. We have like Harambe in the morning. And like the reasons for those devotions and those things like that is to get one day started. Right. You know, you can't expect someone to get up and just be ready to get in the books.
Right.
So with your devotion, you praise, you worship.
Yeah, so we choose a devotional song, like maybe 2 devotional songs, and I bought like little instruments like a drum, a tambourine, and you know, and they'll choose their instrument, and we'll sing like maybe 2 or 3 devotional songs, and then we'll do the Pledge to the Bible and the Pledge to the Christian flag, and then we'll sing Lift Every Voice and Sing.
Oh my.
And then we will start our morning meeting. We'll talk about what we're going to do today, if we're going to have a field trip, or if we're going to follow our regular schedule.
So yeah, it's a more step up. So this homeschooling is more so like it's like a life skills program on top of homeschooling, because she talked about worship, devotion, meetings, getting ready early. They know about meetings. They know they got to be. She said, and they will know by a certain time, okay, the learning starts at this time.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
So, yeah.
This is amazing. I really, really, really like that homeschooling, because, you know, as a child coming up and now that I'm an adult, a lot of the misconceptions of homeschooling is that the district won't support you. Mm-hmm. So do you have pushback like when it comes to that? So how did you go about like doing that?
Well, I have a few mentors.
Okay.
And so they guided me. Mm-hmm. You know, I didn't know anything, and in the beginning I was becoming very overwhelmed. Oh, lessons this and lessons that and stuff. So my first step was to go to the city school district and just write them a simple letter of intent. You know, my son, blah, 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 is entering in da 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 da, and they'll be homeschooled for this school year. And I
So it
submitted.
was just that simple.
Yeah, the city school district will give you a template, so all you got to do is just fill in the information.
Oh wow! Look at there.
It's
So
right on their website.
So a lot of parents who don't know that, if you're looking to do this, like Ms. Anderson said, there's a template that they will give you, but you can go right on the Rochester City School District website and find all the information you need. But before she even got to that step, a mentor. Talk to somebody. Find somebody who you can speak to, someone who you can trust, give the information to, and trust that they'll give you the correct information to move further. So she let us know what led her to homeschooling and the reason why she chose homeschooling. I would like to know, like, so you gave us your reasons why. If you didn't have the reasons why, would you have still considered homeschooling, do you think?
I always considered it.
Okay, so
I
great.
always considered homeschooling, yes.
Okay, so it was always something that you considered, rather, knowing. And honestly, and can I ask you why?
I just, I just love being with my son. After being home with my son and giving him care, like, he had a lot of appointments and a lot of therapy, and I was with him during those times while my husband was at work. And so I saw him have setbacks and then go forward, and I was able to kind of guide him and see him begin to talk and walk, and even though it was later than most children, he did it. And so now when he's tested on grade level or above grade level.
Oh, wow. So would you say that seeing him flourish is what actually gave you the urge to push you to keep going?
Yes.
Even with all of the pushback and
Yes.
all of the times where you just was like, okay, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. Seeing him flourish. So
Yes.
parents, this is a parent speaking her truth. She said that it wasn't easy. She said, you can go in there, you put in the paperwork, but then what? You're not a teacher, like, where do you go? She said it wasn't easy, but watching the moment you see your child flourish in ways that you couldn't imagine, or ways that they told you wasn't possible, because that's the thing. They'll say what's not possible or what can't be done. And as a parent, we all know God has the last say in everything we do. So man can't tell us what is possible, and we won't know as a people if we didn't at least try, or at least I won't even say try, because to try is to fail. If we didn't put that best foot forth, what Miss Anderson has done, she's put her best foot forth. And so how do you say he's doing now? Is he doing amazing?
Oh, he's doing amazing. He is in the 7th grade now.
Okay, woo, congratulations.
Yeah, and he's I think pretty soon, like, he's challenging me, because he was never confined to strict. He was never told what to think or how to think. So he challenges me a lot.
I like that, because I was just about to ask you, what have you learned from homeschooling? And like you just said, like, because see, he wasn't conformed to the things where we were told when to and when not to, when to speak, when not to, in these classrooms, in these restraints. Now here it is. She said she's learning from her son, since he didn't have those restraints on. And it's so crazy, because in college, like I said, I just graduated. It was this book they had us read, and it talked about how, when you don't allow a child to be imaginary, when you have a restraint on what they can do and how they can do it. That's why my son attends Brighton District. Every since second, they was like, let this kid dress himself. Oh my gosh. But listen, I learned so much. I don't spend money on material things. I'm learning from my son that all of that stuff is material. And you can't have, what you gonna do with all of it? It's so funny you said that, and I never even thought of that. So you will learn from them. And that's so amazing. So I can only imagine how it feels.
Yeah. We have a cool thing for me to teach, and I delayed it and for him. But when I started teaching it, he had a lot of questions that I couldn't answer, because from my experience being taught by someone who didn't look like me, it didn't make me feel good, so I just assumed that he was going to feel that same way. But talking to a Black social studies teacher, he said you don't even have to start with art history. You can start wherever you want, or teach how what makes you how you feel comfortable, you know, and teach everything through Afrocentric lens, you know, teach it from a cultural standpoint.
Gotcha.
And so, you know, he sees math as something that belongs to him, and our history, he sees reading as something that he must do, you know, because he it's something that yeah, it's his right.
Right.
And yeah, like everyone should. So it's yeah.
Just like, so that's another thing you learned from him. Do you hear what she said? He has cerebral palsy, but he knows that it's his right to read. So what he does, he reads. Here it is. We got the whole America with the right to read, and our reading is at its lowest, at its all-time high. We're pushing libraries. We're pushing read. We got all these read days because no one is pushing their children to read. Now here it is. We have a student who's homeschooled, who has cerebral palsy, and he knows that I got that right, and I must do it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So
it truly is.
Yeah, with my other children, he's a child that I always learned from.
Okay.
Because he's my eldest.
Okay.
So with my other children, it wasn't like that. Like our history is not just confined to February. It's
not.
Yeah, it's every day. You know, it's more. They ask a lot of questions, and they apply everything to them. Where with my first son, I shied away from it because I didn't know how to present our history. But with the other children, it's like, oh, okay, we're gonna have writing Wednesday, creative writing Wednesday, and I'm gonna choose this Black person to write about, or they're more comfortable with it. Than my first son. He's more comfortable with it now, but it took some time because of me.
Gotcha.
So that was something that I had to learn to understand.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
So would you say that was one of your biggest challenges?
That was my biggest challenge.
Okay.
And another one was to just unlearn how I learned, because I was just like, we're going to learn this way, and we're going to learn that, and we're going to learn that, and like this. But I have a son who has ADHD, a very short attention span. So my lessons with him is no longer than 15 minutes.
Gotcha.
So I have to be creative and ask him a lot of questions and keep him engaged and use manipulatives for him. And so
that's where your challenge comes in.
Yes, but
because you got the other children who you have to still attend to and make time, because you're so busy with your one son, and you still have to make time for the others. Like, and then say if, like, in the middle of you working with your other son, they may be finished with an assignment. Now it's what, next month? Because you're homeschooling, so it's just you.
Yeah, but they know to help one another now.
Okay.
You know, and so when I'm done with one, jump on a learning game.
Man, guys, homeschooling seems like it's a camp or something. I think we all need to look into this. No, I'm serious. Now her children is working together. Now who kids? They know kids helping and working together. The kids being homeschooled, and it's a process. But when one finishes, they help the other. It's because they know they can't go to lunch without if everybody ain't done it. Because kids ain't helping each other. So
it took some practice. Like, we've been doing this for 7 years.
Okay,
so
congratulations. Kudos to you, honestly. Kudos to you, because like I said in the beginning of this podcast, we are our kids' first educators, no matter if we're teaching them good or if we're teaching them bad. But to actually take it on as an occupation that you're not getting paid for. On top of one, as being a parent already, we're not getting paid for. So this is the second. First, you're born with the first toughest job, being a woman. 2, now being a mother of children. And then you took on an occupation, and not just being their mother, but being their teacher. So, you know, with all of those things, I can only imagine how much you're carrying. And I just want to give you the kudos. And again, she says she do have mentors.
Yes.
So with this I'm calling it the life skills program slash homeschooling. With this program, do you ever get like any outside help? Do you have any parents that come in and teach other classes?
Yes, I do. There's a co-op that I'm not a part of, but I associate with. So we go on field trips with them.
Okay.
At the end of the school year, we have a moving up ceremony with them, and so it's great. It's great when you, so it's great. It's great when you know, if I can't do something, you know, I'm just gonna say her name, Sister Fidela. She is wonderful.
Well, giving kudos, Sister Fidela.
Yes, she is wonderful, and she is such a mentor. And she's offered to help me, and I think this year that was my biggest challenge. Support, actually giving up some of the education, allowing other people to help me, because I was so used to doing stuff. So allowing other people to help me was difficult, but I'm learning to do it. Like, use my resources. Like,
yes,
if I can give any advice, to, just use your resources in your neighborhood, co-ops, families, your own family, you know.
You answered my question before I get to it. So that was my next question. I was going to ask her, what was her giveaway point, or what will she give the people about homeschooling? Because it's impacted with so much, and it's so much to do. So you're basically saying your supporters, like in your mentors, like reach out to the people that's willing to help you.
Yes, and you know, don't become overwhelmed. Don't be every day. Just whatever you don't finish today, you can always finish tomorrow. When you become overwhelmed, or your child becomes overwhelmed, change topics, or take a break. Yeah, just, you know, you are not confined to traditional school rules.
Gotcha.
So learning doesn't have to be
so structured.
Yes, or just like something that your children doesn't like. Yeah, right, because mommy is, and I was like that with my first son. I had to learn everything with him. Gotcha. You know, I had all of these books and all of this, and you know,
when like, it's not realistic.
It's not. You know, and I spent so much money instead of utilizing my local library.
Look at there.
They have homeschooling materials. It's already packaged at whatever topic. If it's animals, if it's, I don't know, colors, if it's computers.
Your local library. That's another resource. That's a big resource, the local library. So I have a few more questions before we end this thing, just about the city school district, because I know a lot of people was asking. Once you homeschool them, so say when it comes to their senior year, and do they ever, or even not just a senior year, say the end of, you know, like 6th grade, you know, the milestones, are they able to attend their school? That's my question. So even though they're homeschooled, are they considered like a student of the community school in your neighborhood?
No. So when my son was receiving therapy as a homeschooler, he did go to his local school, the school that he would have been assigned to.
Gotcha.
But I did it all, you know, or I incorporated him into a co-op that I'm associated with.
Gotcha.
And he would participate with those students in their moving up ceremony, and so yeah, again, I utilize my resources, and he sees those kids, the same kids. So, and also grassroots organizations like Seed Sowers and Storytellers,
Freedom
yes.
School, Freedom Scholars,
Freedom Scholars, yes. Yeah. This organization has helped me get through some tough times, has been my support system. So
So
they're
look at
out
their
there.
parents. Because, see, that was the thing. A lot of people was wondering, like, once you strip your kid from the district, do you still have to, like, be in communication with the school and all of that? So is there, like, a communication level still going on?
Yeah, so you have to report
Okay.
progress. So quarterly, I submit um, a report card or
Okay.
just a report. In the beginning, I felt like it was, oh my goodness, I have to turn this in. It was such a big deal, but it isn't.
It's
It
not a
isn't.
big deal.
It isn't. No. You know,
So will the district, they send you the paperwork and you send it back? So quarterly, they'll send you paperwork and you got to
you
send it
just
back?
download it off the website.
Oh, okay. So if they don't send it to you, you
Yeah.
have to do it yourself.
Yes, it's a template.
Okay,
You
gotcha.
just fill the template in, and I think in the summertime you'll submit a curriculum.
Okay.
You know, all the materials that you'll be using, whether it's a website, whether it's a particular curriculum you'll be using. I use different things like if I know like certain things work better for this child than others. I've tried them all.
Gotcha.
You know, I even use free resources online. I'll print the papers out and stuff.
Okay, gotcha.
So
So you said you are part of the co-op, so that's why you don't have them attend. But is there an option for students to attend like their homeschool ceremonies and stuff, or you're not quite sure?
I'm not quite sure. I don't think so. If they're not a part of the school, then I don't think they'll attend the ceremony.
The ceremony, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. I think that was the one question I did have, and a lot of people was concerned about. And then she said, and so the education part, you could deal with the district, but you can go straight to your local library.
Yes, you can.
And you
yes.
found it more simplistic going to the local library.
Yeah, and my kids like going to the local library.
Yeah, I
and-
like going to the local library.
Yeah,
So it's a
and-
field trip all in itself.
Yeah, so I pick up, and you know, they have to learn library skills. You know, I think it's called, I don't know, library science. So that's part of their curriculum. You know, we learn how we build library skills and how to conduct ourselves and how to look for a book. And and
That's
that's
pretty
where
cool.
we do our book reports and stuff. So
Alrighty. So the giveaway and the takeaway for the people tonight is make sure to reach out to your supporters. What you say?
supporters,
Mentors, grassroots.
organizations,
Organizations.
an organization that align with your values. You know, you want to make sure that you know, because you're ultimately leaving your children in their care, so you want to make sure that it aligns with what you're teaching them, and there, because you know, when you're not there, they're going to be guiding your children. So I was blessed to run across this organization.
Great. So parents, if you're out there and you're looking to homeschool your children, it's not a hard task and it's not an easy one, but it's a rewarding one. This parent spoke on and it gave me chills how you can watch and see your child flourish. I think all parents will love that. I mean, at the rate the city school district is going right now, and honestly, the way I see her run her program is more so like like I told her, it's like a life skill / homeschooling, because not only did she incorporate religion, she incorporate business, she incorporate people skills, and these are all things you get in college. She's giving to her kids right out the womb, like soon as they get into the school, and they like it. This is the thing, and they're liking it. You know, they don't even understand, like, they're going through all of these phases of life and getting all these life skills at such a young age.
Yeah.
And getting it from mine. That's my last but least question. How do you get your kids to cooperate? Most of us send our kids to school to teach because they don't listen to us. How do you get your kids to
Well,
cooperate?
because we follow a routine. They know expectations and stuff like that. They know me.
Do you have a word system?
We do.
Okay.
We do.
See,
So
city school district, get it back. Remember the markers we used to have? You remember them color different things? You know, I used to always want one. I used to want the yellow one at least. I ain't need the golden one. But I strive a reward system.
yeah,
Let's
and
get
you know,
reward
we
systems
definitely
back.
do that with my son who has a short attention span. We work on those types of, like, oh, you did good, so maybe you could, because we don't use the tablet. We have one tablet, and that's for the whole family.
Oh,
so
wow.
using a tablet is
She good job.
it is like a privilege. It's like you have to work towards screen time.
That's
So-
something good, using that screen time, because it's
Yeah.
being abused so much by our children nowadays,
Yeah.
and it's hurting. So I think we're going to leave on that note. I know she left saying, you know, on supporters, that was her biggest thing to take away from it, the supporters, and reach out to your mentors, your grassroots, your organizations to help you when your load gets heavy. But another good thing she just pointed on, they have one tablet in their house.
Yeah,
and it's a reward system. In order to be on it, it's a reward. Okay, you did good, you can be on for an hour or two.
Yeah, you can be on, you know, and
because kids nowadays think it's required.
No,
because I was working in the city school district, and those kids was like the phones. This is my phone, my pen, my phone. This is one. Like, I don't understand. So we need to get back to that reward system. But again, we like to thank you. We like to thank Ms. Anderson for coming in and giving us a little how-tos and what tos do and not do when it comes to homeschooling. If you want more on this information, check out the podcast. Reach out to Ms. Anderson. You should be able to find her on what platforms?
You can through this organization.
Oh, well, great. Through Freedom Scholars Learning Center. So if you want to know more, reach out to Freedom Scholars Learning Center, and you can find out more information. You can actually get you a few partners, because she did say that she do partner with this organization to help her get through her days of teaching as a parent, as a homeschool parent teacher, in her life skills / homeschooling program. Can't tell me ain't life skills. Again, we would like to thank you for coming out tonight. Would you like to leave them anything else, Ms. Anderson?
No, I just...
Thank you. You have a great evening, guys.